allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Veronica. I went to Western Michigan University. I am the owner of Creative Exception LLC. And what we are doing right now in the midst of all this craziness is we are transitioning from being a service-based company to an educationally focused design agency. Hold up. We can do way better than that. Hi guys, I'm Ronnie, and let me tell you what I've been up to lately. So since that video was filmed about 3 years ago during COVID, I actually became a full-time graphic designer. I left my job where I was doing design at night, and I went into design full-time, moved to Houston, and then I moved to New York to get my master's, and now I am a design professor, also a senior running my agency. So I am kind of like a different type of designer, and by different, what I mean is I'm very eclectic, as you can see here. But I'm very passionate about diversity in the design industry, specifically because we all come from different backgrounds, and I believe it's important to have different people in the room because we're going to have different opinions and we're going to put out different things. I've come to a point in my professional career where I'm noticing that everything is starting to look the same, and it's kind of a bummer. So that is why I'm here. I am specifically here to design with you and to teach you things that can diversify the design industry. What we're going to be doing today is designing an eyewear company. Who it's for, I really don't know because I'm using AI, specifically ChatGPT, to create that for us. And all I did was I asked it to create a creative brief, which is an outline or scope of work for a client that is targeting Gen Z. And Gen Z is important because right now they're the largest spending group in America, or in the world, not just in America. They're spending an average of $36 billion a year. So I wanted to create a brand that's relevant. And right now, this is near to my heart because I was recently told that I have to wear glasses, not for fun anymore, but for actually a purpose. Embarrassing, but true. So I asked ChatGPT to create a creative brief for an eyewear company. And I wanted it to include the visual direction and a thorough description of the target audience. Usually you would get this from your clients, but we're going to be using AI today. I don't like the name that it gave, Visionary Eyewear Co. It's kind of like something you would expect. So before I jumped on this video, I went ahead and I listed off some synonyms for sight or eyewear. And I think I found one that I liked. I just went like a little backdoor, even though it's not a real client. I still wanted to see if it was on the internet to see if somebody was using this name already, and they weren't. So if you want to, I don't know if any of you guys want to create an eyewear company, by all means. So basically it's giving us a overview, the brand essence, which is basically the brand voice, tone, personality of the brand in a short sentence. Target audience is 16 to 25. We love that. So we're touching the age where parents are paying for stuff, but also getting into the age where we're starting to pay for things ourselves. So hashtag affordable. That's what it says to me. Affordable, reliable. Geographic is urban and suburban areas with a focus on metropolitan hubs. When I think about that, I think about inner cities like Chicago, New York, maybe LA, South LA, like those type of larger cities. Psychographic, tech savvy, Gen Z is very tech savvy. Embrace diversity and inclusivity. We all know that a lot of brands are pushing this right now because Gen Z specifically is a group that is pushing to see themselves in these companies. So you've seen a lot of ads that are a lot more raw. They're not really like stick thin model focused, barely any photo retouching. We want to see the blemishes. We want to see the pimples. We want to see everything because I want to look at people that look like me. 6, uniqueness and self-expression, fashion forward. The personality's bold and creative, sustainable and ethical. I knew about that, or we know about that because also we know climate change. And we know that millennials and Gen Zs are thrifters now because we don't want to waste a lot of things. I know I've been thrifting for years now, but when I moved to New York, I really fell in love with thrifting, not only because you find amazing clothes, but it's a lot cheaper than buying things in the stores. Color palette. This is where my mind goes like crazy. Vibrant and bold colors to appeal to the energetic and lively nature of Gen Z. We get that. Now, Gen Z, I've been looking at a lot of articles and I've seen a lot of videos that say pastels. They do go towards pastels, but also bold colors. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to mix a little bit of both. Typography, modern, clean, and easily readable. That's because Gen Z, as a total, they're big on accessibility, neo-brutalism, meaning things that are easy to read, big, vibrant, text-heavy, simple, clean. So not a lot of elements, but impactful branding. So I think that we have enough here to start. Again, I looked at synonyms for site here, just in the Google search, nothing big. But I think that I already know what direction I want to go towards for this brand. So what I like to do for all of my clients is I like to start off with the same type of framework. Every client I work with has seen this template because I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything, especially when I'm delivering things. It's important to me because I want to make sure everyone has the same experience, but also it's important to me because I don't want to forget anything. I mentioned that I do like 4 different things, so I want to make sure that I have a hold on everything. So the first thing that I do is, I think every designer starts off like this. They start off trying to figure out what typography we're going to use or what fonts we're going to use. So I saw that one of the synonyms for sites or seeing or good vision or vision, that was a synonym I looked at, was sites. And there are a bunch of companies that are called site. And if you've started to work with clients or you're a small business owner, and you probably know that when you're looking to secure the name for your business, it can't be within the same industry. So I've seen site for glassware companies, meaning like glasses you drink out of. And I've seen site for eyewear companies. I don't know how they filed. Obviously, I'm not in their business, but I wanted to stay away from that. And I also saw site spelled with the Y. So yes, I did try to do a little change, but I also thought this is for like a younger generation. So I text Psy all the time to people. So why not use it in branding, right? I would never give a client this many choices. That's number one. We minimize the choices. But for me, knowing that I have like 7,000 fonts in my computer, I know that I want to do something that's more retro. So I already pulled a lot of imagery here on this side that we can use. Photographs, beautiful people, very diverse. Not a lot of men, I know, but I'm a feminist and I want to see more women on mainstream ads. So we're going to focus on women today. I love my men, don't get me wrong, but just for the purpose of today, I wanted to focus on the girls. So I pulled a lot here, and right now, again, I'm in a retro type of mood. I'm in a retro vibe. So I also used Adobe's beta to get a new font. So if you click on any image right now, if you have the most current version of Illustrator, you can go to type and then go to retype. And what it does is it actually looks up fonts that are close to what is in the image. And I found this to be very helpful, especially when I have clients that are like, hey, I saw this font, don't know what the name is, don't know where I can find it, but I want my brand to look like something like this. This takes all the worry out of that. And also, I like to customize my fonts as much as possible. So this kind of just helps me do that. And also, my computer is almost full, so this might take a little bit of a minute. Okay, Ethnocentric. And I already downloaded it. So that was just to show you guys. Again, my computer is almost full. I hope this doesn't freeze. That would really blow me. Okay, Exocentric or whatever. I have enough. So what I like to do again is I like to get a bunch of fonts next to each other and kind of go through what I like and what I don't like. So I know that Keep on Trucking is a good one. Most of my fonts I get from Adobe Fonts or Typekit, but Creative Market is like my go-to for mockups and fonts. They give you free goods every week. But there are a ton of other resources if you're a new designer. Envato Elements is a good one. I'm having a brain fart, but there are a lot of different resources out there for you as a new designer. You will have to pay for some of them. So like I said, I use Adobe Fonts, and Adobe is subscription based. And if you're anything like me, I pay for all of them because I use a lot of different programs with teaching and working. But you don't have to pay for them all. Probably going to speed this process up so you guys don't have to sit through all of this. Okay, so I picked out 7 different fonts. Sorry that took so long. So for just off first glance, I noticed that 2 fonts are really close together, and I'm just gonna have to narrow these down. Why won't you come off Zoom? Okay. So I'm just gonna have to narrow these down. I see that these 2 are relatively close. Blenny is has a special place in my heart. But for the sake of this, I don't think he's gonna make the cut. I like the retro vibe here between these 2. Let me look at the glyphs and see if we have another option for S. I always design in black and white first because color can be a distraction, especially when it comes to clients. They might say they like something because it's in purple, and then when it gets to black and white, they might say they hate it. So this is a great baseline for me. I kind of like this retro one. I just can't get over the fact that it looks like it's saying signed. So let's change that really quick. Oh, I love that. We're good. Tough fight, but I think I love this. So when it comes to a logo, my clients, they love the things, but I always like to keep it simple first. So I would have presented this in a few different colors. But in order to create our color palette, I'm going to utilize these amazing photos that I have here and create our color palette. I don't like to go over 5 colors if I can help it. But because this is, for me, tints and shades are also always good. So I don't like to make my life complicated in that regard. Tints and shades are good if it's like 2 different blues in the same color palette and they're related, but they're not the same. So I like that. Really like this orange and this purple. I need this green might look, no, the green. Okay, that might look good. Need something bright. Not yellow. Trying to stay away from yellow if I can help it. It seems like a very cool palette, which is fine. But I want something like bright in here. And that orange is bright, but it's not giving what I want it to give. I just said I wasn't going to go over 5 colors, and look at me. Made myself into a liar. Okay, so 6. No big deal. And this orange, and when you pull colors, sometimes it might not be as bright as you want it to be, but that's no big deal. That's what I want. Something more intense. So that looks better. So the next step for me is I'm going to go ahead and create some renditions of this logo. and I'll speed it up so you guys do not have to sit through all of that. I want to be very careful with the placement on illustrations, especially when it's included in a logo. I don't want it to feel like an afterthought. So there is my dilemma. So as you guys saw, I really didn't do that many renditions. I think this is fine because in my mind, the imagery and the mock-ups are going to look great. I decided to do a simple pattern from the eyeglasses that we made. Got my mock-ups in Creative Market. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I create a final look for my client. But Creative Market is a great resource. I was able to find these mock-ups. They're super high res and hopefully you guys enjoy them. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is Sight.